Hey guys, welcome back for another video review. Today we are looking at a device called a voltage converter, and the one that I have is a Maxcon voltage converter which I purchased from Amazon.in. Now the first question that comes to mind is what is a voltage converter and why would I need one? A voltage converter is a device that converts an input voltage from the plugs at your residence to a desired output voltage that is suitable for the appliance that you have. And the answer to when you would need one is if, say, you buy an appliance from a country like United States, where the voltage is 110 volts, and you decide to use that appliance in a different country, such as the UK or in India, where the voltage is much higher, 220 volts. You won't be able to directly plug in that device without the risk of the power supply blowing up. So you need something called a voltage converter, and this device is exactly that. In my case, I got this voltage converter for the Bose Companion 5, which I purchased in the United States, and I wanted to use it in India. Um, First thing you need to check before buying a voltage converter is the desired wattage on the appliance that you're buying. This one is a voltage converter that supports up to 500 watts, and you don't want to get a voltage converter with a lower watt rating because that could underpower your appliance and you would be at the risk of damaging it. This voltage converter would also work with other appliances such as kitchen appliances like mixers and food processors, as well as video game consoles like the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. Personally, I also have a PlayStation 4, but the one that I had a universal power supply and didn't need a voltage converter. But that was not the case for my Bose Companion 5, and I needed to get a voltage converter for that. So let's have a closer look at the voltage converter itself. This is the output plug of the voltage converter. What I like about it is that it's a universal plug, so you don't need a converter for the plugs itself. The socket is a universal socket, so you can plug in US based appliances directly into this, as well as appliances from other countries where the voltages and the plugs are different. Right here we have the fuse. There was no extra fuse included in the box. That would have been nice to have. And there's a power on off button. The information printed here displays the details and specifications of the voltage converter. This one takes 220 volts as the input and gives an output of 110 volts, and the rated power is 500 watts, as I mentioned. Now, first thing what I noticed about this voltage converter is that it's very heavy. It's about 4 to 5 kgs in weight, and it's not something you can easily carry or lift with one hand. And here's the top of the voltage converter that tells you more about the specific technical details. But yes, coming back to the design itself, although it's not very bulky, but it's quite heavy. So there's a lot of weight to it. So you want to place it on a shelf that can take that kind of weight, about 4 to 5 kilograms. It's good to have the power on off button in the front so you don't have to reach at the back of the shelf to power it on or off. The length of the wire is pretty long as well, so it can reach plugs or sockets that are far away as well. Now coming to the performance of this voltage converter, I've read about some of the voltage converters that tend to be noisy. I didn't find that in this voltage converter. There's no ambient noise or sound that comes from this voltage converter. There might be a very faint sound if you go very close to the voltage converter, but nothing that you can hear while sitting back in your room while the voltage converter is running. As far as the heat is concerned, it does emit a lot of heat. So if you use it for long hours, it's going to heat up a bit. While that has not caused any issue, it just causes a lot of heat to be there on and around the shelf where it's placed. And you might not want to take the risk of powering it on continuously. So if it's not in use, you might want to put it off to reduce the amount of heat circulating in the room where this device is placed, as well as to reduce the risk of the voltage converter itself getting damaged or the fuse being blown off. As such, no complaints with the performance. The supply conversion is pretty much flawless. I've been using this for a couple of months now, and I haven't had any problems with the Bose Companion 5 that I have been using quite frequently with this. There are no power surges or any disturbance that comes, and no reduction in the sound quality as well on the Bose Companion 5, even with the voltage converter. So that's pretty much it about this voltage converter. Your questions and comments are always welcome. Tell me what kind of devices you have and how you've managed to power it using different voltage converters. Which ones have you tried? And tell us a little bit more about your experience with the voltage converter. And as always, do subscribe to the channel, guys. Thank you for watching and keep the comments flowing in.